Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the SA Cricket Podcast. It is a final, everybody. We've made the Women's World Cup final, the Cricket World Cup final, for the first time ever in men's and women's cricket. In South African cricket, we have a team in a World Cup final, 50 over the 2021 small things. This is the one we want, the one we always want. This is what 99 was all about. This is what 1992 was all about. This is what, oh my word, 1996 when Brian Lara hurt us. We didn't even make the semi-finals, but we got all that heartbreak, and then you add the ladies' heartbreak. England 2017, 2022, and yeah, we're there. We've made it. But yeah, we're going to talk about all of that. We're so excited. But first and foremost, this is the South African Cricket Podcast. Welcome to everyone for following us and watching us. You can watch us on SA Cricket Podcast on YouTube. Please, if you're there, please like and subscribe. Also at SA Cricket Podcast on X, as well as the South African Cricket Podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And yes, you can buy some coffee at Buy Me a Coffee at SA Cricket Pod. We're rebranding, we're doing other things, and your support really goes a long way. So thank you very much, and please do keep them coming. Tim, how are you feeling on this? It's not okay. Obviously, we played on Wednesday, so it was Victory Thursday, but it's still Victory Friday because I think we got not an easy one. I should stop saying that. We got a really, really great result yesterday.
Yeah. Like of the two, I would rather be playing India, but there's absolutely no doubt about it. I'd rather be playing India, and for once, Australia had an off day, which is huge, beneficial for us. Like I didn't think we would be on this week. I thought the Monday podcast, and I thought that we would do a review of the World Cup, having been knocked out the semi. I said that before. I genuinely thought that England and Australia were both better than us. And I do think they are overall. But on that day, anything can happen. In a one-off game, anything can happen. And it took a masterclass. It took a masterclass to get us to this final. That's what we needed, and that's exactly what we got. So we rode our luck at times throughout this World Cup, but you know what? When it mattered, our big players, our big stars that have been doing it for a long time stood up, and they must take huge credit for it. That the way that they fought back and got into this final is really a huge accomplishment. It really is.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. Final.
It truly is an amazing feeling, Tim, and let's get into that. I know we've been very critical on this podcast of this team, and I like being proved wrong. And I don't want to make this about myself, but I need to apologize to Mandla. I need to apologize to that team. I didn't think you guys would make it to the semi-final, let alone win the semi-final. And so well done to you guys on proving me wrong. I was slightly optimistic. I thought if you could get to the semi-finals, and you played England, anything could happen. And I was also hoping that maybe India could beat England and you find a way that India plays us and we could beat them. But congratulations. There's nothing better than watching the Proteas Women on Wednesday just put foot and just keep the foot on the neck of England and make it to the World Cup final. And we did say in the last pod, I think it was on Monday, that semi-finals and finals are where your big players need to step up, right? The whole tournament, we've been asking for everyone else who isn't a big player, everyone else who isn't Lefty, who isn't Marizanne, who isn't Tasman, and who isn't Laura to step up, to contribute to this team going forward, because we felt that they couldn't do it alone, right? There's going to be moments in a long tournament where they're just not going to come to the party, and we need guys to step up. And this time, once you got to the semi-finals, it was on the big players. You need your big players to step up. You watched that semi-final against India and Australia yesterday. Australian players did not, the big players did not step up. They were making mistakes. They were making errors. Phoebe Litchfield, yes, did score 100, right? But you needed the Beth Moonies, the Lesser Healy's to kind of step into this game. And they they got to 330. What India did on the other side was just unbelievable. But again, and that's where great World Cup finals are won and lost. Semi-finals and finals, your big players need to come up. And in certain instances for South Africa, that hasn't been the case throughout. I think 2017 was very close. Our big players did step up, but England, the gulf was just too much. And now you arrive in that semi-final, and it was so beautiful to see Laura and Tasman give us that foundation. Then we lost three wickets in two runs, and we were just all looking at ourselves going, this is unbelievable. This can't happen again. And then Marizanne steadied the ship with that 42 with Laura. And then after that, Laura just kept on going, and she really, really put England to the sword, put them under pressure. And to a certain extent, that's how you beat the big teams, right? Yes, you do hope that one of the other players that aren't the four that I've named does step up, because it helps. It takes the pressure off the big players. But in a big spot, you look to your big players. And that is exactly the type of performances you wanted. Tim, I sat here saying, I know we're going to talk about Laura and all of that, but Marizanne is an MVP. Marizanne is this team does not win that game if Marizanne doesn't get that 42, nor if Marizanne doesn't get those 5 wickets, let alone those 2 in the first over, because she's been struggling to get wickets at the top of the innings, and all of a sudden she got there. And yeah, I was just so happy. Like, it's monumental. It's really, really awesome. And it's funny because, Tim, it's the same team across the last 5-6 years, and 3 coaches or 2 coaches. Well, Mandla's the 3rd coach, right? And I've got to give credit to Mandla and Enoch, right? Enoch for picking Mandla and for Mandla to turning the team around, because this team, the way they play their cricket now, is very, very different to the other teams. It's the other coaching regimes. And one can just say that he's found a way to get the players to play for each other and to kind of get that cohesion in the team. And you can see it even in the social media posts and everything else, that this team is together and that there's no drama like there was before. And yeah, and it's a massive step for this team who have their deficiencies. They really do have their deficiencies, but somehow, somewhere, they found a way. And I can't say anything bad to that. Like, congratulations. Like, I'm so excited because I can see a path to that trophy. And I hope it's not like last year against New Zealand, where we beat Australia in that semi-final and then we just lay an egg in the final. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Just so excited about that game. What were your emotions going through that period?
So, when the toss was won by England and they put us in, I thought, hang on, so what's going on here? In a semi-final, runs are important. Scoreboard runs put pressure on the opposition. I thought that was a crazy decision from England to put us in the first place. And then I saw footage. I missed the first couple of overs. I saw footage of the groundsman bouncing the cricket ball on the pitch before the game, and he was bouncing it, and it was bouncing high. It was bouncing above his waist. And he was catching the ball, and I was going, "This is not going to turn. This pitch is not going to turn. This means it's going to make very, very difficult for England's 3 spinners to have an impact on this game." And I said, you know what? We've got a chance. England have given us a chance by inserting us to bat, and the pitch is not gonna be conducive to their 3 spinners. We've got a genuine chance here. So I immediately started in a positive frame of mind. That mini collapse you talked about, I was a bit worried. because I just thought, you know what, we've given a decent account of ourselves. We get to maybe 270, and I would have thought 270 is something to bowl at. But I was immediately thinking, yeah, you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be good account, decent fight. But at the end of it, the better team won, i.e. England. England are gonna chase 270, 280. That's kind of what I was thinking when we were 5 or 6 down. And the last 10 overs, Mpho, changed the game. We scored 117 for 2 in this last 10 overs. And I cannot overstate this enough. That pitch played into our massively, absolutely massively. So once we scored those runs, I said, what, we're favourites. We're favourites now. We're 60-40 favourites. I genuinely had 60-40 favourites at that point. At 10 for 3, and then it was as far as I was concerned, and I'm pessimistic, I was relaxed, bro. I was relaxed. I knew that unless it was going to be a Nat Siver to a Laura, I knew we would. I knew we won, and get rid of Nat Siver from Kappy was magnificent, absolutely magnificent. You saw her celebration. She knew that the game was won. Then they obviously wouldn't have said it, but they knew that was it. That was it. They were in the final. You know, there was 2/3 of the job was done. So I did go up and down, but I genuinely think those things at the start, putting us in, and the pitch being a fresh one, i.e. lack of spin, definitely helped us, undoubtedly.
Yeah, let's actually go into that decision because I was very surprised in that. Right, my ruling in a semi-final and a final, regardless of what unless if it's like overcast and very bowler friendly and the ball's moving around, there's a lot of grass on the pitch. There's no way I am bowling first in a semi-final. I thought they underestimated us, right? I was sitting there going, do these people believe that we're going to get bowled out for cheap again, right? And to a certain extent, the evidence was there, right? Because the evidence proved that throughout the tournament that against England we struggled batting first, and against Australia we struggled with batting first in very spinning conditions. And I kind of felt that obviously, because the thing with the ICC in the semi-finals, they want full games. They don't want collapses. Collapses don't do well for TV, right? And they're going to give you a pitch that's batter friendly, that's going to last 100 overs. There's not going to be a massive collapse in the middle. And you can see the pitch that Australia and India played on, right? It might as well have been a road. And I hope we get something similar on Sunday. But I do think that, BCCI might come through and they might unleash another pitch there in Mumbai that's a little shaky, but that's my conspiracy theory. I thought it was interesting, right? Because I know we wouldn't have batted first. We would have loved to have batted first in the situation we did. And then when that and I'm going to talk about the batting in Laura's masterclass because I think for me, Laura, and we said this, right? Laura is not the MVP of the team, but she's the best player in this team. She is hands down the best player in the team. But from a value perspective, the value sits with Marizanne. But like you said, that foundation, that 100-run partnership with her in Tasman, I thought would have calmed the team down. It didn't. There was still some anxiety because those wickets fell in a clump, and you were like, okay, cool. And then Marizanne comes in, and then this is my thing. Maybe in the final, Marizanne should push up one. I don't know, just to kind of ease everything out and give her a little bit more balls. But I'm happy with her at 5. She loves batting at 5. I just don't want to, in the case that in the final, one of Laura and Tasman go out and we don't get like a 100-run partnership or something, that middle order is just like a turnstile. And that was my only criticism, was like, oh, guys, like, apply yourself, They've given you a foundation. You should be free. You should be able to play the game that you want to play. And to a certain extent, that's what this team is, right? When you punch them in the face, as Enoch always says, everyone else should calm themselves down. And the great thing about this team is that those two at the top are the best opening pair in the world. And they showed it. They showed it in buckets, and they set this game up really, really well. Marizanne comes in with that 42. That was just insane. I think we don't win the game without it. However, that 89-run partnership between Chloe and Laura, when Laura was just seeing the ball like a beach ball. She was like, it was like this. And she was hitting down the ground. There was this 1-6 where she literally took a golf swing. And I was just sitting there going, this girl is out of this world. This, for me, men's and women's World Cup semifinals, this is the greatest knock we've ever seen. Greatest knock we've ever seen from Laura. And it was, yes, she was there. And that's the thing about this team and superstars, is that the superstar needs to take over. And she did. And all you need to do is support her along the way. And that's where that middle order didn't get, but that was fine, because the form that Chloe is in with the bat, which is a blessing in disguise, and also Nadine there at the back end, that really, really took it. Because I sat there going, 270 is dependable. I'd have been fine with 270. If England got to 270, that's fine. When they got to 300, I thought, okay, we're in with a chance. When it was 320, I was like, you know what, if England get this greatest innings ever by one of them, it will be the biggest heartbreak we've ever had. But I was happy with that, because, as we said at all tournament, was that you need to get to 300 to give yourself a chance. We saw that yesterday. 339 was not enough, and this team did it.
Yeah.
And like, even in the men's game, I'd always say this: you need to get yourself to 300 to keep yourself competitive, right? 300, 320, and they got there. And then you said, okay, fine, our bowling's not that great. We haven't taken a lot of wickets in the first power play. But yeah, it was just there. But Laura, that innings, special. But it wouldn't have happened if you didn't have Tasman there, if you didn't have Marizanne helping you out. If Marizanne gets out for 20, Laura, we don't see this, right? The team just falls apart. Maybe she holds on and Nadine and Chloe do something. But in that spot, with all the pressure, no. And it helped that when Marizanne got out, right? Yes, we're in a little bit of a sticky wicket, but we're 200 for 6. Chloe, having an informed Laura, just was able to just feed Laura the strike. Just feed her the strike. And then once she got out, it was the Chloe Nadine show, which we know we have. So there's a couple of things that we've learned in this tournament, and that Chloe Nadine access in that lower middle order, banking. We can bank on that, right? How we get there is very different. You don't want to get there 80 for 6. 200 for 6, yes. Not 80 for 6. But yeah, look, there's only so much you can say. Laura was unplayable. And as you said, the pitch didn't turn. It didn't offer any sideways movement. And all Laura needed to do was trust the bounce and play it true. And thank you, ICC, for giving us batting wickets. It played into our strength so much. And it's not the wicket. It was just, they showed who they truly were.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It really, really was. As you say, a generational innings from Laura. Absolutely.
From a bowling perspective, we needed Marizanne. Marizanne or lefty needed to open up England. And first over. Nothing more, nothing less. Marizanne comes and just, AB Jones, Heather Knight in 3 balls each, and you all are looking at them going, that's interesting. We have them 3 for 2. And then you're like, wait, they're going to have a partnership. Be patient. And the partnership developed. Nat Silverbrand, Alice Capsey really did well to help them. And then Laura, being a captain, not wanting to save Marizanne towards the end, giving Marizanne the ball for that second spell. Those 3 wickets she took in that second spell killed the game. Sophia Dunkley's off form, got Silverbrand, got Capsy, got Danny Wyatt Hodge. Sune got Capsy, got Sophia Dunkley and Charlie Dean, and that was it. And then it was tough for Lefty, it was tough for Sune Lease. It was interesting, obviously, Sune's bowling now, and I don't, because I always call her the reluctant bowler, but I'm happy that she's bowling. Because I think this team is better with her bowling. And yeah, like for me, I was so worried about our bowling. Like I was really, really petrified. If we did not take a wicket in like 5 overs, I don't know how this team would have felt, how the energy would have gone. And I know you've got enough runs on the table. But the other thing is, on another day, this team just doesn't look great, which is why, for me, Marizanne should be player of the match. I know what Laura did. I know I'll never see that 169 again in my life, as good as that, and I've never seen it before in my life. But what Marizanne did with bat and ball warranted some sort of man of the match award because, like I say, the value of this team lies in that all-rounder. We don't do this without her. And I am so happy for her. I think she might retire after the final if we win, which would be very, very problematic for all of us. But Nadine's there. We just need to get Nadine a little bit pacier with the ball. But Marizanne bowled with so much fire, so much accuracy, and it was infectious towards the bowler because Aya gave us a really good bowling performance. I was really worried about Aya on the other end. Marizanne doesn't. We don't keep that pressure up if Aya's not there and doing well. And then Lefty kept it tidy, wasn't getting wickets. I thought we'd get a few more, didn't work out. But Marizanne, it was the Marizanne show in that second half. And it's not like England tried. On a pitch like that, you need to be tight on the wickets, tight on the stumps. England were just outside off, just letting Laura just cover drive it all the way through. It was like a lesson in, like if you want to see how to bat if you're a youngster, just watch that innings from Laura. It was just cover drive central. 24s off the bat. I think 18 of those fours were literally on the offside in that cover region. So yeah, like Tim, for me, the bowling was my worry, but they managed to get through. Marizanne's early wickets are just so important, and it's really, really good because now Marizanne and Lefty are like number 5 and 6 on the tournament with 12 wickets each, and they are leading wicket takers. They're not going to get to the top, but when it mattered, Marizanne pulled through, and we were worried about a bowling in this tournament.
You just broke up there a little bit. Did you ask a question?
No, what I was saying is that we were worried about Marizanne's bowling in the tournament, and when it mattered, she pulled through.
Yeah, absolutely. I just something I reminded myself now of. And to be fair, it did come up before the semi-final, but it did amuse me. Cricket Australia named the team of the tournament, and they had one South African in there. And this was before the semi-final, and I chuckled. I'm not going to lie, I chuckled. They had 19 in and nobody else. I think they may have to change that. Whatever happens at the final, they may have to change that 11. But you're right. We've been worried about Kapp's bowling. We've been worried about her lack of pace, about lack of wickets in the power play. She stood up. Okay. The flame is not extinguished just yet. There's a little bit of firepower, and hopefully there's enough for one last game, as you say, to finally get us over the line.
Speaking of that one last game, it's another final. 5 finals in a row for South Africa, dating back to the first final being the one at home in the T20 World Cup in Cape Town and Newlands, which was very sad, one-sided affair. And then we went on to go to the Under-19 World Cup final, the women's final. And then on top of that, we've also had the World Test Championship final. And before then, we also had the men's T20 final when we lost to India, right? A lot of Indian fans will be telling us that we're going to lose. A lot of Indian fans still think their team is better than ours. If I did a top 10 of the players in this final, I think it's pretty even, right? You've got Mandana, Rodriguez, you've got Harmanpreet, and probably Dipti Sharma, who are India's top four players. Our top four players, we've named them. And then the players who will add and put their hands up, I think from that next level, you've got Chloe and Nadine who are just that much better than the others, right? And I know in that first game it was 250 plays it was 250 plays 250 was very tight. India set us 250 in that, and I think that their key strength is that their bat it goes deep to Amanjot, who I think is also another key player that we need to be worried about. And my worry is they give us the 250, and that should be more than enough to win a World Cup. I think we can get there if it's around about a 250. But the way in which we're going to play their spinners, Radha Yadav hasn't had the best of tournaments. I still rate him. Deepti Sharma is the number two, is the number one wicket taker in the world. Just confirming that. Give me a moment. I think she was. It is, yes, it is. It's Deepti Sharma and Annabelle Sutherland who are sitting on 17 wickets in the tournament. And then Sri Sharani, who's a left arm spinner as well, is also sitting on 13 wickets. Obviously, depending on how that wicket's going to turn and when it's going to turn, it's going to be key in that final. But either way, I'm batting first. I'm putting something down. And then my number there is 250. And like for me, anything above 250 in a World Cup final and having India bat second is just going to be too much. Even the team batting second is going to go through so many emotions, which is why I think, do it first. I think the crowd's going to be a problem for us in this game. But I hope that we didn't play our final before the final. That's my biggest thing, right? And again, like I said, for me, the playbook is simpleton. Those four players, Lefty, Marizanne, Tasman, and Laura, need to step up. And if we can get a similar performance from Chloe and Nadine, potentially with the ball, because Chloe took 3 wickets in that first game against India that kind of restricted them to 250, slow left arm, really, really good, getting the likes of Mandana and Kao out, as well as I think it was Victor Raval, but she's not here anymore. If we can do that, we stand a massive, massive chance. And I think batting first, putting a number down, it gives you all the ammo in the world for this Indian ladies team who are in the final for the first time as well and are trying to do the same thing South Africa is doing, but this time with a massive crowd, with 1 billion people who would be mad at them if they lost. Right? There's that other factor we need to factor in. And so I sit there, I really didn't want India to be in this final. I didn't think India were going to beat Australia, and they did. And that 341 is like us last time against against Australia when we beat them in the T20, and Annika Bosch had that massive innings, and then we were like, that's our final in the final. I think India might be there. But Tim, in the history of the Women's Cricket World Cup, there's been 3 names: Australia, England, and New Zealand. I think we can be the 4th. And it's the same game plan. It's the big players making it easier for everyone else to contribute. And this is the day where if this does not excite you, Tim, if being in a World Cup final and batting out of your skin, giving us a quick 530, giving us something, playing to your talent on the world's greatest stage, if that does not excite you, then ask Mandla to sit on the bench, please. Ask him, please. We'll find someone else. Because I'm sitting here going, all the pressure is on India. You've got these 4 amazing players who should come through for you. And if they don't, it's your chance to shine. Right? But I'm so I'm sitting here going, these are the moments you wanted. These are the moments and I can see the fire in Kapp. Marizanne wants this. I can see Laura wants this. You know, Tasman as well. You know, let's support them. Let's get them to play their best cricket. And in doing that, it's you playing your best cricket, right? Everyone else stepping up, putting up a shot, getting a wicket here, diving here, doing this. And I think that's what Manda's got this team to do. But we mustn't be complacent because we've beaten India before. Our thing here is the same contributions you've been doing throughout the tournament. This is it. And this opponent you've beaten many times over in similar stadiums. And Marizanne said it in one of the things. She's like, yeah, I want India because they'll be screaming and I think they're shouting for me. That's the type of mentality we want. But from a game plan perspective, I don't think this pitch is going to turn. Win the toss, bat first, and Laura and Tasman go to work, girls. Go to work. Work there. I'm not worried about their quicks. I think they're just very young. And I don't think that they are as express pace to worry you. And if they can go to work, everyone else should become comfortable. And yeah, it's time for Annika Bosch, Anri Dirksen. We've taken an extra batter in there and put down something. Even if it's 250, I'd like 270, but even if it's 250 in a World Cup final, that's what wins a World Cup final. But if we don't bat first, no need to panic. Please don't panic. We do not want people panicking. The rule when you bat second is give yourself every chance to win that game. So bat deep. Even if there's a collapse, take it as deep as possible. Give yourself a chance. What do you think?
It's the one time where I wouldn't mind a bit of conservatism if we are chasing. It's the one time. Normally I wouldn't, because it's a World Cup final, as you rightly say, if we have a tough period, if we lose 3 wickets for 15 runs, don't panic. Don't panic. Take it as long as you can. You never know what can happen if you take it as far as you can. India showed that. India had no right of winning that semi-final. If Australia beat Australia and caught their catches, just their bowling was poor, but if they just caught their catches, they would be in the final. And 9 times out of 10, Australia would have caught those catches and they would be in the final. This team is definitely beatable, this Indian team. It really is beatable. We know their strengths. You've outlined them. Their batting. For me, the most important player is Shriti. No, Sharana, left-arm spinner.
Yeah.
If Australia makes 338 and she gets 2 for 49 at a total of 338, she's worth worrying about. She is so accurate. So accurate. Final, I want nothing for 49 for her. That's fine. She can have good figures. Nothing for 49. Nothing for 49 is we're in a good space. We're in a very, very good space. You're right. If we're saying take as long as we can, if we're batting first, put pressure on them. I mean, really put pressure on them. Put pressure on the field. They are committed in the field in India, but they aren't a very good fielding side. They're committed, but they do tend to drop catches. And they do tend to drop catches they shouldn't be dropping. If you put pressure on them with the batting, if Tasman and Laura get to 80 without loss, they will start to panic. They will start to think, you know what, we can't afford this. We can't afford Laura to get a start. If Laura gets a start, it's big trouble for them. And you're right. I think your analysis is spot on. I think anything over 250, we have a very good chance of winning. Very, very good chance. I've got a sneaky suspicion. It'll be interesting to see how they go about it. I've got a sneaky suspicion they're going to try and get spin to play some kind of a part in the final. Because they know if they do, it plays into their hands. They may not have, I don't think they have the best. So Australia's Alana King and England's spinners are better than anything India's have got. But it doesn't matter with us. We don't play spin well. If it's spin and it spins, we tend to not play spinners very well. So
Which
I
is
would
also
like to
why
think that they want to have some kind of spin, even if it's the first 15 overs of the match, and then it dies out. If you have a few wickets with the spin in the first 15 overs, the game is kind of over. Particularly if they get Laura and Tasman out early, it makes it
which is so
very very difficult
baffling.
for us. Hey?
Yeah, which is also baffling with England and them bowling first, right? Was it one of those ways where they thought that the pitch would spin early, and so they didn't want to be dealing with the dew and all of that later on under the lights, and that's why they chose to bowl first.
They made some reference to the dew, but I just think they read it wrong. I think they read it wrong. As soon as I saw the groundsman bouncing the ball waist high, a cricket ball waist high on the pitch, I'm going, Charlie Dean ain't playing. We're playing Eccleston, and Smith must have been excellent at the World Cup, but Charlie Dean ain't playing. We're playing an extra pace bowler. It doesn't matter who it is. Charlie Dean was completely nullified in that game.
I was surprised of her selection as well. I was really surprised when they picked her. I was like,
I just think they read it wrong. I just think they read the pitch wrong completely.
Yeah, so 11. Are you going with the same 11, Tim, or are you making a change?
I'm probably going with the same 11, but I might be tempted to drop Annika. Annika Bosch at the moment is really struggling, and it's not really contributing at the moment. Who are my options? I haven't got the squad with me. Who are my options? So
wait, Tim, hold on. I'll give you your options. You got Dumi. You've got Dumi. You've got Nondu, Shangase. You've got Karabo, and you've got Masabate class.
That's a big call. You play Karabo Meso instead of Annika for a World Cup final, where she hasn't really, and she hasn't scored runs in this World Cup. So I probably wouldn't. But if we had Miana Smith, I know she's there, but she's not.
She's
yeah. If she was there, then I might be going with her. We don't have an out and out batter. That's the That's my only worry is that she hasn't contributed anything in this World Cup. I'm really sorry about that because I've always been an Annika Bosch fan. But no, I think I'm sticking with the same team.
No, like it's a bit of a no-brainer, right? You know, they've gotten to the semi-final. Don't change what's working, and yeah, it's what it is. It's within sight for me, Tim, and I think this is our okay. New Zealand last year will always be our best chance of winning a World Cup, right? And we never got there. This is just as good a chance. Yes, we're away from home in India. We know what that crowd's going to be against us. We get it. But if you put them under pressure, that crowd will turn on them. We've seen it happen before. And we've watched Australia in the men's game and in the women's game relish off of putting India under pressure in big spots and then picking them apart. Do we have the ability to pick them apart? No. It'll be death by 1,000 cuts? Yes. We're going to stumble along the way? Yes. We're going to lose 3 wickets in a cluster? Yes. Do we have the will to hold on? Yes, we do. And that's all it is. It's not over until we get to that last ball of the day. It's never over. The beauty about this game, right? You can even just take a view at the World Test Championship final. We were in so much trouble after day one, right? And we pulled it through. Look at Rawalpindi. We had no right to win that game. But somehow, a moment of insane magic and brilliance stepped up. And that's the other message to everyone that isn't Lefty, Marizanne, Tasman, or Laura, is that if you want to be remembered forever, if you want to be a cult hero, if you want to be speaking at golf days for the rest of your life, if you want to be, the hero for school kids around South Africa, this is your moment. This is it. This is the moment where you can put your name down in the annals of history. An Aya Pfeiffer in a World Cup final. Annika Bosch 100 when we are 10 for 2. Sune Lee's 100. Sinalo Jafta, get that 50 so I can buy you dinner or lunch, whatever it is. Get it in a World Cup final. These are the things we want. Chloe Tryon, 3-fer and a 40 of 10. Or a Nadine de Klerk blitzkrieg at the end with some wickets on the other side. Those are the things that will make you. Nadine, you're already a cult hero. Everyone thinks you're Klusner now. This is your moment as take them apart even more. And the pitches are going to suit us. I think this pitch is going to suit us. ICC wants runs. They don't want 150 all out. Those are not finals. That doesn't sell the women's game. It's going to be 300 plays 310. And best believe if we can get to just 270, we've got a chance. 250, between 250 and 270, you've got a chance. And if they do score 300 in the first innings, just hold on. Make sure you see over number 50. If you don't do that, you don't win this World Cup. But anyway, good luck to the ladies. Tim, do you have any final words before we go?
Win it. Get over the line. Don't care how you do it. Just get over the line. Be patient. Take your chances. We get them. We are going to get our chance to win the World Cup. Let's put it this way. It's not going to be a shutout either way. We are going to get our chance. Take that chance. Whatever it is. Run out. Catch. Whatever it is. Ricochet catch. Rebound catch at the boundary. Whatever it is. Take that opportunity. Once in a lifetime opportunity. For all those things that Mpho mentioned. You want the soft life? Get over the line.
If you want to be a cult hero, this is your moment. If this doesn't excite you, I don't know what else will. I'm excited. I think we can do this. I think we can take them apart. It's a letdown spot for India here. Let them suffer for 100 overs. And this is our moment. Bring it home, girls. Good luck. Yeah, if you've been watching up until this point, remember, please do like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on all the different platforms. The strap at the bottom is where everything else. Please follow us on SA Cricket Pod on X. We might be live tweeting where we can. I'm going to be in Botch doing Northwest Women against Western Province Women. So there might be a Dene sighting. Who knows? But yeah, it's a massive, massive game for South African cricket. Ladies, thank you very much for getting us here. Mandla, thank you very much. Now's your time. Bring it home, girls. Bring it home. And from ourselves here at the SA Cricket Pod, please, 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 thank you very much for your support. Please keep it coming. And yeah, support the ladies. Sunday's massive. Sunday's always going to be massive. Let's bring it home. From ourselves here, it's goodbye and Nesale Kakahiso.